Wagwan people, wagwan. Hang on back. Good rising to the living flesh and spirits. Bless up to everyone watching this. Bless up to everyone watching this later. Bless up to everyone, man, who got a chance, man, to rise up again today, man. This life is one beautiful experience, man. So the first thing you do, guys, before you take on any pending threats, negative energies, the money, just give thanks. You woke up today. That means you have another opportunity to experience this beautiful, beautiful life again. You woke up today. Before you do anything, make that your ritual. Before you do anything, before you complain, before you worry, even before you go out and make love, give thanks that you have the opportunity to fuck up. Give thanks that you have the opportunity again to make more mistakes and to test this body that you've been given, you know, to test this vessel so that you can fall down, scratch yourself, be inspired by a thought, and then make a decision that changes your life forever. It's happened to you since the day you were born. It's happened to you since the day you were born. But only in our adult years do we start to forget that that is the process to life. Only in our adult years do we start to forget that that is the process to life. You know, don't try push out the bad. You know, if you're facing some real hardships right now, put it in your mind that this is to get you to your ultimate state of pleasurable existence. That's what this experience is right now. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Everything good and the bad is all to knock you to zero. And when I say zero, I mean balance. Yeah? It's all to knock you to balance of self, man. So, first thing we do when we wake up in the morning, man, give thanks. Even if you're sick, if you're ill, give thanks. Give thanks. Because in your giving thanks, in your true appreciation of life, no matter how it's dressed right now, it could be dressed in sickness, it could be dressed in disease, it could be dressed in affliction right now. Yeah? Or it could be the opposite. Your life right now could be dressed in pleasure, dressed in glory and victory. No matter how it's dressed right now, when you acknowledge the fact that you have life and you give gratitude for that life, you already set everything else in motion to bring you back to the balance of yourself. Do you see what I'm saying? So the first thing we do when we wake up, man, we give thanks, man. You know? And you could give thanks with words, but there are physical ways also to give thanks. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You know? Especially as a human people, as a human family, we have a whole body. Don't just limit your prayers, your gratitude, and all of these things, your service, your worship even, to just words. Don't limit it to just words. You have a whole body. And your whole body has memory around it. Your whole body has information that it stores. Your whole body gives messages. You see what I'm saying? Your whole body is able to give messages. So, use it whilst you're praying. Use it whilst you're giving thanks and gratitude. Use it. So I'm looking at monkeys. Wagwan, yo, listen. Give thanks. Give thanks, man. Use your whole body. How do we use our whole body now? Wake up. You see me right now? Do not underestimate the power of music. We cannot live without it. It's a vibration that's made specifically to move our energy beyond regular levels. So you dance, wake up, dance, play some music. And it don't matter what kind of music it is, as long as it helps raise your vibrations, man. I play reggae. Straight after this, I may play some gangster rap, depending on what I'm doing, depending on the energy I want to be in. You see what I'm saying? Allow the music to encourage the mood that you're trying to be in. Don't take it lightly either. It's worship. And when you dance, your whole body now starts to move in accordance with the energy that you're trying to keep and reflect in yourself. You see what I'm saying? That's why we dance. That's why dancing is so important, you know? And again, this is also why being in nature, being able to dance in nature is also very important. Why is it very important? You know? Because nature is alive as well. Nature is in constant communication with you. And just as nature affects us, we affect nature. So being able to dance in amongst nature and in natural environments, whether that be, you know, having a plant in your house, whether that means having a plant in your house, you know, whether you step outside onto some grass, you put on your headphones or bring your speaker, if you can dance amongst nature, again, it helps cultivate the energy that you need, man. Because you're now giving, you know, like, see like how you water plants to give them life. We also breathe out carbon dioxide to give life to the trees. So imagine what happens, yeah, when you're dancing. Imagine the energy you're giving to your nature that surrounds you, including people, including animals, including plants. Imagine what happens now when you're dancing, yeah, and you're giving all this energy, you're circulating energy to the nature around you. So that nature ends up absorbing that and giving it back to you. You feel me? This is bad. Trust me. Fire upon a week. Hey.
Wait on your judgment day. Babylon, we gonna fire upon a week and Babylon.
Don't underestimate dancing, singing. Yeah? Let that be a part of your worship. Let that be a part of your gratitude. Yeah? You understand? Your gratitude every morning, man. Give thanks that you were allowed to wake up today. That your mission is still on. Your mission is still on right now. And so we have to be thankful for that, man. You know? That's why, guys, when you hear me say Africa is everything, it's because of these very facts. These very facts that in Africa, nature is so alive. Nature is so bountiful. You see what I'm saying? And it's very potent. Many of you lot have been hearing me get sick, for example. You've been hearing me with a blocked nose and sneezing and stuff like that. That's because where I am at right now, the environment is so pure that my GMO ass ain't used to it. You know what I'm saying? I was born, raised, reared in London. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's a clean place, but a very unnatural environment. It's hugely sterilized. Does that make sense? So my body, my being, my vessel, though genetically is connected to this place, Africa, it's not used to it. So right now my body is purging, and I have to go through a state now where now I have to start to consume like vegetables that are grown locally, things like honey that are grown locally. All of these things I have to go through a process of helping my body reshape itself to this environment. But that's why I'm in Africa, because I understand the importance of nature and how it affects your ability to enrich yourself. You feel what I'm saying? The more I'm enriched by nature is the more free I feel in myself. The more free I feel in myself, I'm going to be able to give and do what I'm supposed to do as a vessel. Does that make sense? So this is why certain decisions get made in life, man. When you start to understand what you need, you make decisions based on that need. You feel me? Oof. Perfect song to come on right now. So this is just a morning message, man, to big up and bless people. It's interesting that this song has come on, yeah? It's called Africa Awaits by Taurus Riley. Powerful song. If you never heard it, go and listen to it. It's called Africa Awaits. And I see this song as like a prayer. You know? I am a believer in repatriation for the African diaspora. I believe that in order for Africa and Africans worldwide to restore balance, we need to repatriate ourselves back to the motherland. Now, this is an interesting thing, especially for people who live in the motherland right now. People who live in the motherland themselves, I believe, themselves need repatriation to Africa. Because repatriation is not just physical. There are many places you can go right now in Africa where you low-key don't even feel like you're in Africa. You don't have to live an African-centered life. Does that make sense? So what I mean by repatriation is not just physical. Physical is important to inspire the rest. But it's also very important now that people repatriate mentally and spiritually. Meaning, repatriate as African people to the origins of our mental state, the origins and the essence of our spiritual state. Africans are the most spiritual people in the world. You can't excuse everything we do is from a spiritual place. We understand that every physical act that we do has a spiritual consequence. And so when we're talking about repatriation, really we're talking about a mental one, a physical one, and a definite spiritual repatriation. And the latter two are more difficult than the first one. They're more difficult for the first one because, you know, yes, like my ancestors were stripped away from Africa, for example, and were physically taken away. But many people were colonized in their own homes. And though they were not physically taken away, even they got to keep their clothing, their language, from some of them, many. The work that has been done on us as a people has been a spiritual degradation, has been a spiritual oppression. And that becomes one of the most difficult things to do for us. And so, you know, I empathize and support anyone who's on that spiritual journey to understand themselves from an African spiritual point of view. Because there's a lot of decolonizing to do. There's a lot of detoxing to do when it comes to how we view ourselves spiritually as African people. I'm looking at monkeys. So there's a lot to do. A question I constantly ask myself whenever I'm studying, whenever I'm experiencing something, whenever something brand new is going, whenever I'm experiencing something brand new in relation to African spirituality, or I'm about to learn something new, or something challenges a mindset that I've had, I go back to this question: are African people inherently evil? It's a question you ask yourself as an African person. Ask, are we inherently evil? The answer for me, and I believe for most of you on that journey, would be an absolute no. Cool. Therefore, if we are not inherently evil, yeah, meaning at the foundation of us we are evil, if we are not inherently evil, then our spirituality, the way we prescribe it, yeah, the way we practice it, the way we have observed it scientifically, mathematically, all of those things that relate to us from our perspective have to have some sort of value. And not just some sort of value, ultimate value, because it's what the world has built their information on. So if we are not inherently evil as a people, then there must be something to go and get beyond what was forced upon us during times of slavery, colonization, and oppression. There has to be. Lest you think if we are inherently evil, then by all means, there's no value to be found in African spirituality, in Africa as a place, in Africa as a mental state. There's no value there. If you believe we're inherently evil, then people who came to wash us away of our way of life, then they were right. And by all means, if that's your way of thinking, continue to follow them. But if you do not believe that we are inherently evil, then therefore there is work to be done in reinstilling what our ancestors had as a way of life, and taking it beyond to where we are at now, because there are things we do now. We live a whole different life, and then we're in a whole different world to what our ancestors were in. But at the essence of what they built can provide us value going forward in what we would like to build for ourselves as African people. That's my view. Like I think it's a shame that we can explore and celebrate every culture around the world and respect their spirituality, on high levels. We can document it, we can talk about it, we can engage with it. But when it comes to us, it's complete taboo. When it comes to us, it's complete ridicule. It's shame. We make mockery of our spirituality. We make mockery of our mentality and ways of life. Why is that? And forget about other people. As a black person, as an African person, if you're someone who does that, ask yourself, why do you feel so comfortable to degrade your own cultures? Why? Ask yourself why. Why is it, even though you do not really have a true understanding of the spirituality, why is it that you view it immediately from the word go as bad, as demonic, as negative, as something that's even against God? When if you look at everything we do, even during colonization, even right now, everything we do from a natural point of view is hugely spiritual. So how could anything that we create from that place immediately be bad? So it's a question. It's a question to ask ourselves. It's a question, if you're on a journey of mental, spiritual and physical repatriation, that's a question you have to ask yourself along the way, and allow yourself to be guided to whatever answers you come out with. You feel me, blood? So yeah. So I'm here right now. I'm about to have some clients for mindset coaching. Anyone who would like mindset coaching, holla at your boy. That's what I'm about. That's what I do. Right, currently in Kenya, looking at monkeys play and piss about outside. But yeah, much love, people. I'll see you soon.